There we go.
Oh, it didn't do the intro. Hi, guys. StreamYard is whack. Yeah, we're live. StreamYard is wonky tonight, my friends. Wonky. So I made us an intro and it didn't even play it. And it wouldn't let us swap places. So we were having to figure out the logistics. Dalton's sitting. You can't there. He is there. You hear him. And that is him typing as me in the chat. If you did not already know, he is out for the summer. So he will be here on Tuesdays. So thank you guys for wait. We're always late. I am Kat, the nurse flipper. If you do not know, that is Dalton
and Rod
peeking in there, and he is typing as me. And then I'm joined by my co-host Rod.
There you go.
Yeah.
And both of these lovely ladies have been on before. I have Kristen, a rural. Oh, I spelled your name wrong. Why didn't you yell at me?
What?
No, that's right. That's right.
Yours is right. I put an E in it.
On the screen.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's all right. I mean, I answered to both. I answered to worse, so it's okay.
I answered to Kate and Kathy and all kinds of things. And Catty Corner is Angie Resells, so really happy to have them both on with us. I'm going to make them big, let them introduce themselves. I put it in the chat, guys. They've got that down pat. I put it in the chat.
I think they did this before
we
or
have
something.
17 questions lined up before we started. So you really need to get them in early tonight if you want them answered. Normally we do not have that many before we are starting. And yeah, so here is Miss Kristen.
Hey guys, my name's Kristen. I'm a rural squirrel. You can find me on almost all the platforms as a rural squirrel. So you can find me on District, under Dibdit Threads, Tiquity, Polish and Brush, all those good things. I'm also on a podcast called This Week in Reselling. It's over on the Nashville Flippers channel. Those come out on Thursdays and Sundays. And Instagram, if you want to get a hold of me, you can Instagram me, and you can find me on YouTube. I do videos over there about the things that I find. I mostly shop at the bins, and you can find stuff out about that kind of thing. And I'm just grateful that I get to hang out with you guys. Thank you so much. I've loved getting to meet Kat in real life. Rod, I don't think I've met you in real life. Someday.
No, someday.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah. And I get to be on with my bestie, Angie. So this is great. Thank you.
Speaking of, all right, here's Angie.
Hey guys, I am Angie Resells. I have all the things: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, as Angie Resells. I even have a sign right there that says it. I'm an eBay reseller, have been for 27 years, but I am kind of refocusing my energy lately and trying to do only eBay for $30 and up items, and doing live selling to really try to downsize my inventory. So you can find me over on District almost every single day, Monday through Friday. And I do YouTube auctions at least once or twice a week, where I do live selling right here on YouTube. So make sure you check me out.
Perfect. All right, let's see what we've got. Susan put her question in really early at 8 o'clock this morning. So she goes first. She wants to know, do you have any tips on selling larger items like lamps? Since eBay takes a percentage from the high shipping cost in addition to the item, it's difficult to make a good profit. Thanks.
My family, my dad, my aunt have always done big items like that. They cast iron sinks, big lamps, things that hang from the ceiling, all kinds of that, industrial salvage and things. So those kinds of things cost what they cost to ship them. And the person that is buying them probably knows that they're going to cost what they cost to ship them. I get it that we incur a fee for that, but that's also a cost of business, so you need to build that into your price whenever you list it. If you don't want to pay that, Facebook Marketplace, put it up on Marketplace. Hopefully you're in an area that will have a bunch of people, densely populated, so it'll be out there. Put it out there. Sometimes you'll find people that want you to ship it to them in other places. Ship it. They know it's going to cost what it costs. So Marketplace is the other option.
Yeah. I would say the same thing about Facebook Marketplace, like for things like that. But you said it's difficult to make a good profit, which leads me to believe that you are selling things with shipping included. Don't do that. Box your item, know the dimensions, know the weight, do it calculated, add in a buffer a little bit for your packing materials and things like that, and do that in advance on those difficult items so that you don't lose money and it doesn't get into your profit.
Yeah.
So anytime I hear someone say that it's difficult to make a good profit on these high items, first thing, these like heavier items, first thing comes to mind is that you're paying too much for them. Because you make your money on the buy, not the sell. So I would literally reanalyze your business, seeing what you're paying for these. I always calculate anytime I buy anything, I always calculate 15%, even though it's going to be less than that. I always mix in like just a little extra in there just to give myself a little leeway. And 15% is a lot easier than do like 11% or 12%, 12.83. So I always calculate 15% what I'm going to sell it for. And I always, add in what the shipping cost is going to be and stuff like that. So when you're buying these bigger items, because you also have to factor in too is the amount of time it takes to package and ship these items. Time is also money. So if you incorporate the 2 hours or say an extra 30 minutes to package up this big heavy item, and you factor in, and that's all you're selling, these bigger heavy items, that adds up over time. So you want to make sure that you're buying these at a proper price. And because it may just be it may be easier for you to leave those behind or just sell on a local, either OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first thought was, like Rod said, is like you make your money on the buy. So definitely I try and buy at 10%. So if I'm selling lamp for 100, I bought it for $10, typically. That is number one. As far as larger items, I wouldn't go more than like 20% most of the time, unless we're talking hundreds of dollars. Now, if you do your calculated shipping and do it correct, the discount that you get, if you're not passing the discount on to the buyer, should cover the fees. And so then you're awash on shipping. And I do not a ton anymore. I've kind of, and that's more because like I don't want us to have to pack it and find the big boxes. So we don't do a ton of bigger stuff anymore. But the biggest thing is like if you're under by 2 inches and a pound, it could mean like $15 on a bigger item. So our bigger stuff, we always make sure to weigh it. And I typically will add like 3 inches on each side of the item to make sure that my shipping is going to be accurate. And like they said, I might even add in an extra pound because the boxes, a lot of time, the big boxes weigh like a pound or 2 by themselves.
Yeah.
So you have to remember that as well when you're calculating it. And yeah, the biggest thing is buying them cheap. Buy it as cheap as you can. And if you can't get it that low, then you might want to steer away. So I would look at like the percent that you're getting taken out by fees, and then kind of be a little more strict with yourself as far as like how much you're willing to pay for things.
Also, too, look into the areas you're shipping. If you're shipping through the United States Postal Service, it's going to be so much more expensive, especially if it's a big, heavy item. I would literally check all the different shipping companies, FedEx and UPS, because my big items, I usually bounce between FedEx and UPS, depending on what's going to be cheaper.
Good quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we actually, we might as well go ahead. Where'd this question go? This one, because this is about the same thing. So we can go ahead and talk about that real quick, because that's like your larger items. So if you do sell big items, which of the carriers do you typically use to ship them?
So for me, I don't ship a lot of big things like this. If I'm going to ship it, for me, FedEx is the easiest and best. I'm in the middle of the country and it's pretty generically the same just to send it anywhere. So FedEx, and then I have a drop off and a pickup location very close to me. So I ship almost everything that goes not UPS or USPS. I mean, I send it FedEx because it's easy for me. I also am like Rod, weighing in the factor of my time. and I don't want to drive 30, 35 minutes to go drop it off to UPS. So mine's all FedEx. Again, it comes back down to time and ease for me.
For me, I do UPS. Number one, we have a UPS store a few miles away from us. And well, anything over like 20 inches, heck, anything over a 12 by 12 by 12 box anymore, I do UPS. The reason I do not do FedEx, and I'm in Florida, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but every single time I ship with FedEx, a couple weeks later, I get extra fees. So I refuse to use them because I never actually know what the shipping code is because they change it after the fact. So mine would be UPS.
So for me, I used to ship FedEx a lot, but now UPS seems to be cheaper. And I think they renegotiate their rates. It has to be something to it, but I usually ship all my items to UPS right now.
Yeah, so for me, I typically put my pricing on ground, USPS ground, which is normally more expensive, and then I will switch it over, which you are allowed to do as long as it's going to get there in the amount of time that you stated. If you're making it longer transit, you cannot do that. But with USPS ground, typically FedEx and UPS are faster and they're cheaper. So we'll look and see whichever one's the cheapest. If you guys don't know, and I always mix them up, but CVS and Walgreens take UPS and FedEx, so you can bring them there. I can't remember which is which, but we have both in my tiny town, so that are 10 minutes away. We do have a UPS too, but they are random and like to close early because they felt like it. So a lot of times we just bring it to CVS and Walgreens, but we just use whatever's cheaper. So I don't have a preference. Sometimes it's USPS ground, but most of the time I feel like FedEx and UPS are close to the same. So we just go with whoever's cheapest.
Also,
right.
too, Dollar General, too, you can drop off packages, I think, for FedEx.
UPS
Or
or FedEx.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have Dollar Generals are like in the middle fields. Like it's absolutely ridiculous.
That's
like,
where I live.
Yes. Yeah, and you could be driving for hours and see nothing, and then boop, there's a Dollar General. It's crazy. Like it's crazy. They're everywhere. All right. Miss Mary says, what is the best box size to ship single ornaments? And do you use just bubble wrap? I picked up tons of ornaments and wanted to be prepared when I start listing them on eBay. And I'm going to assume she means like your regular, like 2 to 3 inch, glass balls or smaller ornaments.
Yeah, I was going to make sure that we knew what size you were talking about, because I give about 2 inches on either side of whatever my item is so that I can bubble wrap, especially things like that. Personally, I put tissue paper around it, just especially if it's got glitter or something, just to keep everything tight and close a little bit. And then I use bubble wrap. I do, who's our bubble wrap guy, Angie?
American Bubble Boy.
American Bubble Boy. I use that for my bubble. Yes, for my bubble wrap. And then if you're doing something super fragile, like those really thin German ones or the Christopher Radcos, if you want to double box it, I'm not saying it's wrong, it's that required, but just for extra protection, some people like a double box.
I don't normally double box. For ornaments, I buy 8x6x4 boxes in bulk. And so typically that's what I'll use, and I just bubble wrap it, and usually don't, unless it's like huge ornament, and then you go up 10 by 8x6, but usually the 8x6x4, and I buy those boxes for so cheap that I don't mind using those.
Yeah, I use the same box 8x6x4 as well, and I just bubble wrap the hell out of it.
Yeah, I use 8x6x4, but I will caveat that, like Kristen was talking about Christopher Radko, if it's a $40, $50 ornament, probably going to put in an 8x8. So if you have more expensive ones, I would get some 8x8s, and then 8x6x4s is definitely my go-to for the majority, whether they're breakable or not. My ornaments go into boxes, because like even if they're little wooden, like could you imagine that in a poly?
No way.
It would be a disaster. which sucks when they're $15 and the box is $1, but it happens. So we try and lot them up. That would be a suggestion too. If you have single ornaments that are like $10, we just sold a lot of ornaments, like totally random, no name ones that I didn't think would do well, and sold a lot of them for $40. So if you have some that are not overly impressive, like ours were all cabin rustic theme, we like separate them into little themes, and they did very well. So just a tip, if like, I wouldn't list a ton of single ones at like, say $8 to $15. I would lot those up in 2s or 3s so you can get a little more. Then you won't care if you spend $1 on a box.
Good tip.
All right. My good friend Elena, Treasure Diva Thrifts, said she sourced some beautiful cashmere sweaters recently. Should I wait to list them closer to the fall season?
I don't think that you should wait to list anything. I think it is money sitting there waiting to be earned. So if I get something today that is Halloween, I'm listing it. If I get a cashmere sweater, I'm listing it. If I get a Christian Dior great big long trench coat, I'm going to list it. And I just sold one just within the last month, a trench coat. So, I mean, they sell all year long. There's people in Canada that want that stuff. There's people up in Maine that want that stuff. There's, you know, maybe they're going on a trip and they need a cashmere sweater. List it. It's not gonna make you money if it's not listed.
What she said. I mean, and the other thing is, come fall, everyone's going to list their cashmere sweaters. Whereas now, if you list it, you have a much bigger audience looking for a smaller amount of cashmere sweaters that are available. So you're likely to get a better price if you list it now and someone's looking for that. And I think cashmere is lightweight enough that people buy it all year long anyway.
Yeah, it's nice. People
Not
like
to mention, it may be warm where you are, but other places around the world, and you do have international shipping on, people would buy stuff that's going to be in a colder environment. So
Yeah.
I put it up. Anything I get, doesn't matter if it's holiday related, anything. I put it on eBay because there's always someone looking for it. And then people always want to get ahead of the curve too. There's people that are overachievers and they're going to buy stuff 6 months in advance. So why not just throw it up there and just let it sit there until the right buyer comes by? Because it's not going to make you any money sitting in your closet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I had like a giant death pile, which I kind of have amassed one in the last week, which is sad. I had nothing, and now I have like a massive amount. I might pick through and be listing summer items now, just to make sure they get up when everybody wants them. But if I pick it up and don't have a ton to list, I'm going to list it. I list the same thing. And I've had this question in the comments of one of my videos too. Like Christmas, Halloween, I don't care what. Collectors look year round. They probably have set searches for whatever the heck they're looking for, and they're going to buy it year round. And again, like everybody said, you're going to get a flood of them in the fall because a lot of people are waiting to list them, but I am not going to. This is super funny. Todd said he bought so much today, he's got to rent a 10 by 15 unit now. All right. Today, I did a house clean out. I told you guys last week I was going to do it, and I was kind of nervous on how it would go. And it went very smoothly. I was glad I didn't go to the gym because I got a very good workout. We filled up a 20-foot U-Haul. I am lucky I have my big barn, which it's not heated and cooled. It's not insulated, but this stuff was free. We have it in totes to protect it. And I know what is really valuable, and it's going to come, that stuff's going to come inside. And it was super easy. The guy was like totally laid back. He's like, I don't care if you're happy, I'm happy. I'm like, can I take this? He's like, yeah, take it. Like he really was like so chill. He's like, if you don't take it, it's going in the dumpster. And so we didn't feel bad about not taking stuff either. Like he wasn't pushing us to take every single little thing, which was nice. We did take probably 80%, but like the kitchen, like disposable Tupperware and stuff that weren't like in good condition, that stuff we left. And we got so much vintage hats, probably worth $50. Not men's hats, but like the ladies, the feathers and the fancy. We probably got 20 of those. Tons of mass, and a lot of that's going to be coming to Whatnot for $5 starts, cheap, because we want to move through it because we have so much. So we did not even unload the truck because we were all so tired. I'm like, no. And I called U-Haul. I was going to pay for an extra day. And they're like, oh, you have the truck till 11 a.m. I was like, oh, perfect. Like, that's all I want is like a good night's sleep. I'll get up in the morning and we'll do it again. And we're like loading all this stuff. We're hot. We're tired. And the auction owner comes in. He's like, hey, I got another house for you. I'm like, oh, okay.
We'll
So I have a big barn. I have room to put stuff. So tomorrow I am driving to look at this other house. Like, he would have had us go get it today if we would have. I'm going to tell him like one house clean out a week is my limit. So maybe I'll go, if I do want it, I'll go next week. I looked at the auction from it though, and it looks like it was a lot of tools and like manly stuff at this one, which is kind of cool. It's different than what I sell. So I am going tomorrow to look at another house already that fast.
Go girl.
Do you still have to drive the same area as the last one?
This one's in Ocala. So
Okay.
the one we did today was in the Villages. So it was almost 2 hours drive. And it was South Villages, but this one is southwest Ocala. So it's on my side of I-75 at least. So hopefully it'll be a little closer.
Wait, I just realized you're all in Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you guys should have all like hung out at the same table and we could have all just done this together and you guys be together and we should have done that. That would have been fun. Ugh.
Except we're like polar opposites away from each other in Florida. Yeah. So
Look, I think a lot of people don't realize how big Florida is. Like,
yeah,
I can get to like North Carolina quicker than I can get to the Keys.
Yeah.
Like, and I would like to go to the Keys more than I would like to go to North Carolina, but they're not 9-hour drive. And I love them. Okay, I got to give Todd something. Let's. I think I'm going to do the whale. Thank you, Todd. I hope you sell it fast so that you don't have to. I mean, or make a lot of money so you can keep using it. One or the other. There you go.
That's a new one. Cute.
I love the whale. Oh, listen, can I tattle on you? I'm going to tattle on her. I asked Elena, I said, can I hire you for next Tuesday? Because I would have paid her, but I planned on paying her in stuff is what I was hoping to help me load today. But she thought I meant to come on the show tonight. So this morning I'm like, I haven't heard from her. I'm not going to like message her because like obviously it's not like a job. And so she's like, hey, do you need a picture for tonight? And I'm like, that's why you didn't message me. She thought I meant to come on the show, not to help me load. All that 5 million stuff that we loaded. But so I scheduled her. She'll be on in a few weeks. But now she said she could help me if we do the Ocala. That one is closer. That one is closer at least. So yeah. All right. But it was funny. I was like, aha. Like I thought she was just like blowing me off. But then I figured out why. Okay. This is interesting. So Just Me says the postmaster told me it's faster to ship Ground Advantage than Priority because the post office used to ship airmail with UPS planes, but now Priority goes on commercial flights when they have room. That's kind of interesting.
So my post office is just down the street. I'm there every day. I've gotten to be really good friends with the people that are in my little bitty post office. I only have 950 people in my town, so they know me. I take my stuff in there. They put it all in these, the bins, and they all go in the same bucket. They used to separate the Priority from the, the regular population. Right. It all goes in the same bucket now. So they told me that it's same water about flow. It doesn't matter. It's all going to happen at the same time. That's what they told me. I don't work at the post office. If the item that I'm shipping, like on Whatnot, sometimes it just automatically puts it into Priority. If it says it's going Priority, I put it in the Priority box. I send it. If I send it with Poshmark and it's Priority, I put it in the Priority box and it gets there. I just send it the way they tell me to send it. I don't worry about it. I can't help it. Yeah.
I really think that nowadays you're just paying the extra for priority for the boxes that you get for free.
For free.
Because yeah. So actually we're now paying for that because it used to be 2 days. Now it's like 2 or 3 or 4 days to get priority.
So I think Kristen, I think you are right. I think they do get shipped the same because especially during the holidays, I would have Ground Advantage and Priority Mail shipped the same day, arrive in the same town the same time. But the difference is I feel like my Priority Mail, once it arrived to the final destination, that they took the Priority Mail out first before they brought all the Ground Advantage stuff out. So I think, I mean, not that it makes that big of a difference, but like during the holiday times and stuff like that, I saw when I had packages being shipped to the same town, the same shipping hub, that my Ground Advantage packages kind of get stuck, but my Priority Mail ones did not. So that might be, yeah. But that's I have a very small sample size to adjust that, so don't quote me on that.
Same, mine's super small. I'm the only one shipping stuff, but they put all of it, instead of having a bucket for priority and a bucket for Ground Advantage, it just all goes in the same bucket. Do you
think that's because you're in a very small town, though?
No, they told me that it all goes in the same van to the same place to the same thing. They just process it on the same conveyor belts. That's what they told me.
It makes sense from a business standpoint because all the extra manpower that you would put into it and stuff like that. And then if you just need to sort that
and stuff,
I think Angie's onto something with the boxes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, definitely the boxes.
People abuse the box situation anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, if you didn't have to sort it through the entire process, and then maybe they took the Priority Mail when they got to the final destination, then you sorted it out there, you would save a lot of manpower along the way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
See, here we are solving.
I don't really have anything to add. It's interesting. I I switch it to priority when it's like higher dollar, but that's just because like if it gets lost, you can file a claim faster if it's priority versus ground. So that one, I've heard that before. Somebody put their Goodwill sells the box. The priority box.
I've seen that they do multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton's back there trying to get you to see Pig. It started raining, so he let Pig in to have shelter. Even there's a front porch on the shed. Pig had shelter anyway. But all right, Passionately Collected said, sold 4 coffee mugs. The buyer sent a pic of 1 cracked mug. I approved the return, received them, and none are cracked. Cost was $8 plus shipping. So that's $9.27 both ways. I want a refund, $8, no shipping. Is this fight worth it? I'm going to assume they said that the item was damaged when it arrived, which doesn't allow you the shipping. But we can say what we would do. I just had a situation similar, I'll tell you.
Ooh, okay. Well, I don't know how much you ship Passionately Collected, but I think sometimes I don't get worked up about stuff too much. I don't want to waste my energy on, being angry about things like this that I can't fix or change anyway. And some people are just boogers. So I'm not going to give my energy to that problem. And if they are that bothersome that they want to send things back like this, it's not my problem. It's their problem. Karma will come back around. I'm not going to stress about it. It's a cost of business. Sometimes that happens. I move on. I don't have to pay for big overhead on stores and paying people to, work for me. I don't have all kinds of overhead. That's my costs. Sometimes that happens and I'm not going to scream about it because that happens to me like maybe once or twice a year. So if that, I just don't stress about it. Sorry. I know that you probably want to be all mad about it. Ooh, those people, and for you, I will be like, ooh, I hope they get karma, but I'm not going to worry about the $16.
I'm going to worry about it, and I'm going to stress about it.
You will still angry type them.
So angry type. Especially because it used to be that, they've learned that if they say item is not as described, they can get their shipping back both ways. So they do that over and over. And it used to be that you could do like a 50% partial refund.
You still can.
Well, not my account, because I did it once in all of 2024 and they shut me off from it. So you can't report and like have them do that anymore. So because I did it once in 2024, they shut me off. So now I just have to angry type and then I delete it before I send it, because Kristen has taught me how to do that so that I don't hurt anyone's feelings.
It's like screaming into the pillow. Type it out and then back it up.
I typed today and I did not delete it. I'll tell when it comes to it.
I used to not delete it, Kat. Kristen has like helped me in my old age, I think.
Zen, girl, Zen. But report them.
Right,
report them to eBay.
It doesn't happen very often. It's karma. That's, if you can try to fight it with eBay, but honestly, if they're not allowing you to do the refund, like they're not allowing me to do, then you're not going to win the fight. Unfortunately, it's all now overseas and bots that are answering the messages. So you're going to lose, unfortunately, with a lot of effort on your part. That won't be worth
time. Wasted time.
Angie, you need to put that email in ChatGPT and say, make it nicer. And then have them redo it. Because what they'll do is they'll take your email and they'll make it nice for you. So you can do that too. I do all my emails.
What are those things, Rob?
Yeah, no.
Do that.
I'm trying to help her out so she can be mean, but in a nice way. And it's,
it'll do it too.
It will do it.
I normally do it, but I didn't today.
Yeah, so it depends on the item. You're going to put a lot of time and effort into this. You can have it go through the whole process, report it to the buyer, and then you have to go through the appeals process through eBay. They possibly will issue you a refund back, and then issue a refund back to the buyer as well. But the time and effort that's going to take for to save $8 or $9 each way, is it really worth that? Going to take you an hour, or the 2 hours might take you to go through the whole process of chatting with them, going through the appeal process. Now, if it's a high dollar item, I may do that. But at this point in time, this is what we call cost of doing business. Why it's always so important you make your money in the buy, not the sell. So you have that little wiggle room in all of your sales for people stealing, for people scamming, for people doing this. Because honestly, at the end of the year, you're kind of one hand how many times that may potentially even happen to you, if that. So, you just move on, cost of doing business, and just because the amount of time you spent trying to save that $9.27 back twice, you could have listed hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of stuff on eBay and made 10 times that amount of money.
Preach, Rob.
Fair.
So.
Okay. 3 things. 1, yes, Pig is meowing and he bit Dalton. Dalton tried to put him back out, so I'm going to have to put him out here in a minute because he doesn't want to go out. 2, I quit using ChatGPT because it freezes up on my computer all the time and Grok does not. So I've been using Grok and it's just as good, if not a little bit better than ChatGPT from what I've seen for what I use it for. And as far as this, so I did not take my own advice and went back and forth with somebody over $20 buy today. It was a Spanish-speaking individual who was extremely aggressive and nasty to me from the get-go. And I'm like, It was on Etsy. It was not on eBay, which sucks because I cannot respond to feedback. So I'm not going to look at what they write. But they wrote that it was a piece of garbage, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the title says read and there's pictures of everything you're complaining about.
Yeah.
So luckily on Etsy, I have buyer paid returns and I said, you're more than welcome to ship it back and I will give you a full refund. And they said, well, send me the label then. No, my policy says 14 days and you pay. You can do it. You can leave me. And then they threatened to put my name, my address out there for everybody to see. They were extremely threatening and nasty. And I said, okay, I'll contact my attorney. I am an attorney. Okay. Like, you know what? So I said, your messages are extremely aggressive and threatening. I am not reading or responding to anything any longer. And they finally stopped. I said, I'm done. And yeah. And I don't know. So it's funny because Jerry asked about the PO box, which I put that in the queue for the questions. But my daughter's like, Mom, is it our address or the PO box on Etsy? And I'm like, I don't know. So but I mean, whatever. Like, you know, if they had been nice to me about it, then they would have. But they told me it was so sad I needed $20 to live. Yeah, I do. You know, and they wanted to keep it and they wanted a full refund is what they wanted. And I didn't give in. And I said, my title says it, my pictures show it. It is what it is. But as far as this, I had somebody say that I didn't. Yeah, I agree, Marcia. She said, if someone wants to find you, they will. And I do agree with that. And maybe they want to from wherever they are. They returned 3 pottery pieces and said that I did not disclose the size of them. And we had 18 pictures, including 6 with tape measure. So I don't see the refund thing all the time, Angie, but if you like, when I click report biter, it will then let me do the deduction. So I reported the buyer. I did a 50%, which did not even cover the shipping, but it covered most of it. And I put in my message, fraudulent item not as described claim, doing 50% to recoup the shipping. There are 6 pictures with the tape measure that the buyer could see. And they never messaged me. They didn't message me because they knew. I was like, there are 6 pictures with a tape measure and you're telling me I didn't tell you the size.
Right.
You know, so I took the whole 50% because the shipping was like, I think $14 and the item was a $22 item. So I got $11 back. And I did report them and I told them when they were sending the return, like the item is as described. I had pictures with the tape measure. I am not going to let you roll through that. You know, it's one thing if they're honest with me, if they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't see the pictures. I didn't realize how small that's a fraudulent claim. It was as described. You just didn't want it that small. I don't get mad about it. That one today did get to me. The Etsy one did get to me. I'm not gonna lie.
There are exceptions to every rule.
I don't like people being super nasty, especially being threatening. Like, I'm not okay with that. And they're not gonna, like, I wanted to tell them, like, have you ever heard of the saying, you catch more flies with honey? Like, if you would have been nice to me, you know, you would have got what you wanted, but you weren't, so you don't. Karen's asking, why did the 50% get turned off for you, Angie?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's not like I used it too much or whatever, but yeah, it got turned off.
Maybe you could call him.
Yeah, and I wonder if mine was turned off for a while because I swear I didn't see it and then I saw it and now I used it. So I'll update you guys if it gets turned off again.
Yeah. And they could do it like for a set period of time because they feel like it.
And then maybe, turn it back on. Because I swear I didn't see it for a while, but now if I hit report now, it comes up. Jack is asking, can you recommend a good resource to date vintage Levi's jeans? I have vintage Orange Tab 519 model that seems to be from the 1970s, but I want to make sure my own research is correct.
I'm going to put in the chat a link to, it's a Instagram post that I saw one time and I flagged it for my own research and my own references, but it had a lot of great information in it about little tweaky things that you don't notice or you don't pay attention to. So it's just a start to help you with some things, but I Google things. And then when you find somebody out in the world that has that knowledge, make friends with them and then send them your pictures sometimes. I've reached out to reseller friends of mine that I know specialize in those things. And I've sent them messages on Instagram and with pictures and said, what do you think? Are they legit? How come this doesn't say this? And what does this code mean? all of that stuff can be deciphered a lot of times just with a Google Lens search. That's what I've used a lot of different times, but then make friends with those vintage guys that really know that stuff. They really do. But check that link that I sent you in the chat so that you can just get just a little bit of knowledge there.
And I have no advice for you because I don't focus on a lot of men's clothes, nor do I do a lot of vintage. So I would go with what Kristen said.
I just sold a pair of vintage orange tab just a couple weeks ago. So $68 for some vintage jeans.
So he was recently on the podcast here, and you can find him over in Dibbit Threads, but Cernox Connection knows his stuff. Very, very good. If you go to Dibbit Threads, you can send him a message over there. He should be able to help you out with that. But he specializes on a lot of like old vintage clothing, and he knows his stuff. So that would be my first point of contact.
That's who I call. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't typically with mine, I haven't had a ton, I've only had a few, but I don't typically put a date. I just look for similar ones and price according with them, and I seem to have still gotten the money without like dating them specifically. I'm gonna do that right after I read this. Karen with a C said, I've heard that some thrift stores have restrictions on resellers. So have you heard of any that do? And have you ever been thrown out of a buying venue because you're a reseller?
Funny you asked that question. I've never been thrown out because I'm a reseller. I have been thrown out because I was videotaping. They sometimes get weird about having the camera out, but I've never had anybody say to me, get out, you're a reseller, especially if they just want my money. And if that's the case, there's plenty of other places to shop. I will go somewhere else if they are going to be hateful and ugly like that. And if you are in Colorado or New Mexico, go to ARC Thrift Store. First of all, they are amazing. Their mission is incredible. They have fantastic prices, and they love having resellers in their stores because they just want the money. They want to move the stuff. They want to focus on their mission, and they need the money to do that. So find a good thrift store that wants you and wants your money. So that I think that there are plenty of other places out there to find that if they don't want resellers, then I mean, aren't they a reseller? Aren't they reselling stuff that they
type in the chat? Type.
Me?
Kristen, type. Yes, you.
The stores that you just dropped.
Oh.
Name dropped.
Oh.
No, anything. I was going to make her a moderator because she needed to post a link, but I couldn't find a chat from her to make her a moderator. I made Angie a moderator.
Yeah. The only place that I recall that I literally got kicked out of was years ago was Walmart. Because I was buying toys that they were clearancing, and they were doing like the final at the end of season. They were like literally for the store marking stuff way down to like unload it. And I was filling carts, and I got kicked out because they said I was a reseller. But I will tell you, from being an eBay seller for 27 years, back in the day, you didn't tell anyone you were a reseller because people didn't want to sell to you. I mean, even like at yard sales, but times have changed, especially the last, since, COVID, people are resellers, and that is now an acceptable way of running a business. And before it was not, and so now people are like, oh, you resell. Okay. They don't try to oh, you can't buy that, you're going to resell it now. But of all places, Walmart, who is the biggest reseller of them all, they literally escorted me out of the building.
What? Angie, and you didn't get it on video? What?
That was before. I mean, that was quite a while ago. So, but they've changed their tune over the years. But back then, no.
Where haven't I been kicked out of? Let's let me just go down the list here. Bars, restaurants. The list is very, very long. Yeah, the reason why I was called the Scoundrel, Raw Grinds, when I wrestled for a long time. But Now I've been retail stores I've seen retail stores myself and other people have been asked to leave, or they restricted what we could buy, doing buying clearance and doing that. I've been in a thrift store where they did not want to sell to resellers, which I still didn't understand.
I've never had
I
that.
just
that
yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me.
They would limit what you could buy because you're reselling it. So I understand that to a point. I've seen game stores, here's one big thing. Video game stores I've seen, that's like mom and pop stores that didn't want to sell to other resellers, or they limit what other resellers could buy, because one is, this makes sense to me, because if a reseller came in that was selling on Amazon, that store may be able to get $25 for an item locally or on eBay, but on Amazon they can get $40-50 for that game. So Amazon resellers will come in and wipe out all their good inventory, and it will take them a couple of weeks to get the inventory, even though they're selling it off. But as a storefront, I understand this purpose where they can either limit or didn't want resellers come in because they were wiping out their inventory. So that makes sense to me to a point, because then if they don't have inventory, they're not going to have new people that are going to keep being repeat customers. So that makes sense to a point, on there. But yeah, I've been at yard sales. I've been to like two or three yard sales where they didn't want to sell to me because I was going to buy it to resell, and I told them I'm going to buy it to resell. But at the end of the day, like, it didn't make sense to me. I was like, so you're going to sell it to someone else who's going to buy it, or you're going to put it right back in your house. So then you're just sitting outside wasting your time, at this point. So I never understood it. And then I always use the analogy is like, your grocery stores are resell. They buy from farmers and then they resell it in the store, and they do that. So, but
for more money and make a profit. Like, so all of these stores are doing that. They're not there for the fun of it.
I tell them Walmart has a reselling site where you go online just like eBay and resell items on Walmart's website. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's just funny what people think about and what people perceive in the world sometimes.
Yeah.
Mary's asking how they know we're resell. Like, I tell them, but the majority of, like, if you guys saw, like, ask them one time what they do with the stuff that's been there forever. Most of them sell it for like 11 cents a pound, and they ship it overseas, or it goes to the dump. If they are smart business people, they will like us in there. And like the whole, like, oh, we're stealing from the poor. No, like, the poor don't need a $200 statue that I'm going to buy to resell. They're not going to display it under the bridge if they're homeless. Like, they need clothes, and typically the cheapest clothes are not the clothes that I'm going to buy to resell. I am not taking what they want or what they need. And I'm proud of being a reseller. Like today, the house clean out, I was taking this guy's whole house for free. What do you do with it? I resell it. Why the hell else would I want to take a whole house full of stuff? Because I'm a hoarder? Like,
maybe.
I see that comment a lot on people especially that go to put out YouTube videos about thrifting, and people are like, "Oh, you're stealing from the poor," and stuff. I'm like, do you know what Goodwill's mission statement is?
Well,
Their mission statement is not to give to the poor.
Like,
It's to help the communities, to help people get jobs, it's to help everything else. Like, people don't even understand the mission statement for these thrift stores and what their bottom line is. It's comedic.
They are so thankful, though.
Yeah.
Like, I would say 90% of the stores we go in, they know me, because if you look at my cart, I'm a reseller too. And I, as far as like the garage sales, I could see, like, if you were really like arguing and trying to like super lowball them. But like me, I'm not a great negotiator. I pay asking price 90% of the time.
Me too.
Like, I'm giving you what you're asking. Why do you care what the heck I'm doing with it? But I haven't ran into that a lot. But I'll tell people, I will, like, and it has, like, the whole people are poor. Well, guess what? Maybe they should learn to resell. Like, so many people have brought up like their life and done better for themselves from reselling.
Maybe reselling is why they're not poor now, because it helps get them out of that situation. Yeah, people don't know. Yeah.
And a full disclaimer here for anyone who's new listening and watching us, please tell people what you do. Even though we're saying what we're saying right now, this is a very small fraction of what happens. 99% of the time I tell people I'm a reseller, and they are arms wide open for me. They say, oh, you're a reseller? Hey, come in my house. Look at all this other stuff I have. I didn't have time to put it outside. Or, hey, you resell. Let me give you in contact with my aunt. She's moving. It happens all the time. So it's so important. That's how you build network. That's how you build, you get connections, and you work smart, not hard in this process. So just because we're having this conversation now, I just want a full disclaimer out there. Tell people what you do, because what we're talking about is a tiny, tiny, small fraction of what you will experience.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, for those of us that are on YouTube, when people, like, a lot of times my cart is what gets the attention because it's like all the time. I tell them, like, yeah, I resell and I teach people how to do it on my YouTube channel. So go check me out. And and a lot of them that ask that are actually trying to do it, and because they have that interest in, like, why is the buggy so full? And then we have an opportunity, if we are on YouTube, to tell them, like, hey, yeah, watch me, and I can help you if you have, like, the educational videos, or even like the thrifting and, garage sale videos. Watch me, like, you'll see what I pick up. I pick up stuff that's selling. And then it helps with that. Plus, they might be like, hey, I've got a whole house full of stuff I want that I've been trying to get rid of. I want you to buy. I agree. Tell everybody. Everybody. Tanya wants to know, do you all have notifications on your eBay app so you hear the cha-chings all day long?
Absolutely, I do, because that is motivation for me. Because if I hear that cha-ching, I'm like, hey, something sold. I bet I could do this again. I can recreate that dopamine if I just go list something. So yes, I have it on. And then when people say, ooh, you just got paid, I'll be like, yeah, I'm a reseller. So I just sold something on eBay. And then I give them my YouTube channel. So yes, I absolutely love it. And if I'm talking to my friends, my reseller friends, and my cha-ching goes off, everybody celebrates with me. Woohoo! She just sold something, and I'm all about celebrating everybody's wins. So yes, I have it on loud.
I of course have it on. Because I love it, and it's been on for 20 some years.
Yeah.
But also when you're at the bins and it goes off, and everybody's like, still turns over to see who got it, and they're like,
Is that me? Was that yours?
Dad, like, haha, that was me.
The look of disappointment, and when everyone pulls out their phone, like, and you're like, yes. But
that was mine.
For
How
me,
much was it? What'd you sell? What was it? Where'd you get it?
Yep,
What'd you pay for it? Yeah.
So for me, I normally have mine on mute, to be honest with you, because I'm filming when I'm out at yard sales and stuff like that. And I don't want a distraction on that, because if I do, then I get like, oh, what did I sell? I'm pulling out my phone, and then like I'm in the middle of a conversation or something like that. So I when I'm out and about like that, plus also too, with all the other platforms and what I do in social media, if I had my sound on, I would have like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Dibbit notifications going off 24/7. So for me, but I need those push notifications come through. So it's a lesser evil. Just turn off my sound, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't get a cha-ching at church or anything.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So mine is kind of twofold. One is I am silly, and I really like having themes on my phone. Like I'll put my phone to sleep so you can see my little turtle. So I do different themes. I'll change it like every 4 to 6 months. And when I do a theme, it replaces all of the notification sounds. So it replaces the cha-ching. I could go back and I'm sure figure out how to put it back. But I also, if you saw my messages and my notifications, my phone would not shut up all day. So mine is also on silent, but I have it in my hand, so I look all the time. But the main reason is because I do my little themes, and they come with sounds when I do them. It's $2 and it makes me really happy, and I pay for font too. People have seen when I share screenshots, they're like, how do you get that font? It's like $1.59 and it makes me happy. So I do that as well. All right. I miss Kathleen's super chat, and I hope she's still in here, and I posted in the chat. So I am very, very sorry that it took me so long to get you up here. She said, hey, Kristen and Angie. Oh, and Kat and Rod too. Well, thanks. No, I'm here. until now.
Yay! We did it, Ange. We got cat money. Woohoo!
Yay! All right, what are we doing? Eeny, meeny, miny. What one? Any request? Let's do the octopus. Here you go. She's still here. Yay. So I'm sorry it took me so long. I did not do that because you were forgetting me and Rod and put us as an afterthought. I really did.
Doesn't sound like he's taking that personal at all, Kathleen.
All right. Oh, how did that come up again? That was very strange.
I was getting rid of a star and then I
accidentally clicked it up there. I was like, what just happened? Wendy wants to know, what tape gun do you recommend? I have 3 in the house and I don't like any of them. It's driving me crazy and it's not a long drive.
Mine, this was my dad's. It says Home Sealers. It works fine. Works good. There's another name up. That's it. Home Sealers. But it could be the worst tape gun in the world. I'm still going to use it. It was my dad's. So I find them at the bins. I bring them home and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And that's what I use.
I have a tape gun that is ancient. I've had it since the beginning. I think I probably bought it at a yard sale, but they don't make them like that anymore. I don't think. I bought multiples throughout the years and get rid of them all and keep my cruddy one that has gunk all over it, because it just works better. Sorry.
Oh, can't hear you, Rod.
Muted.
Hold on. I fixed Rod. You're muted.
Back?
It wouldn't let me unmute you. It said, "Can you unmute?" Yes, they muted themselves. I'm like, okay.
I didn't mute myself, but
StreamYard's
been difficult tonight.
StreamYard's wacky today.
Yeah, I don't use a tape gun. I have the one that, like the teacher had on her desk, that little thing, but I have one for the big rolls. It has suction
Somebody
cups.
else said they have that. Yeah, Susan said she has that
it's
too.
so nice because it has suction cups on the bottom of it, so I just pop it on the counter. It doesn't move, and I just pour it off and stick it on the box. I'm good to go.
So once again, here, because Joel sent me this amazing cup, American Bubble Boy has tape guns with their tape. Why can I not think of the name of the tape? Dang it.
Go to
tape. My go-to tape. Hello. So Joel sent me, when he sent me samples to check it out, tape gun too. And he has those, and that's what we use is my go-to tape ones.
Yep. And their tape is great, by the way.
That's all we use. I like it. And you can use the Nurse Flipper and get 5% off all the time on tape, which is nice. All right. Sarah sells smalls by the seashore in Minnesota. And Minnesota, 99% of garage, rummage, yard, tag sales, all of the items are priced ahead of time. Would you prefer a tagged or an untagged sale? I would get annoyed asking all the time.
First of all, if you're in Minnesota, look up I'd Flip That. They are also in Minnesota, and they do a lot of reseller meetup groups, and they are a lot of fun. They're great people, amazing people, and they will probably love to go to yard sales with you. But I personally cannot stand it when something is not priced, because I don't know whether or not, I don't know what even to base my offer on. Do you think that this item is worth $2, or do you think it's worth $10? I don't know where to gauge that off of. So I want you to price it, and it drives me crazy when they don't. And I just ask them 10,000 times, how much for this? How much for this? How much for this? And hopefully if I'm asking every single time, they'll get the hint and start putting prices on things. Just me.
The only time I don't care is church sales when it's make a donation kind of thing. Because then
I haven't been to one of those in forever, and I love them.
Like Kevin says, as seen on a recent video.
Seen on a recent combo picker video. Yeah, and got a lot of heat for it too. Oh my goodness! I'm glad I'm not a big YouTuber, because I don't know if my heart could take all those mean comments. But a sale like that is one thing, but yeah, like, or why do you have, or if you say, oh, how much is this? And they're like, oh, that whole section's $1, something like that. But when you go and they're like, oh, the clothes are 3 or 5 or 10 or 20. Oh my Lord, price your crap. So that's how I
Don't
feel.
put your eBay pricing next to it.
Yes. And if you put the eBay picture there with the price on eBay, I'm walking.
Bye.
Listen, don't post me. You can know this as a gauge.
We're having a hard time.
What are you saying?
No, hold on.
There you go.
No, what I'm saying is though, is when they put eBay listing pricing on there, where they have this ridiculous pricing, that creates a false narrative for new buyers on there. So like I've been in yard sales where people have put eBay sold comps, and the sold comps were legit, but like, hey, I'm doing 50% off sold comps. Oh, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that or something. At least it gives me a vantage point. But when you just throw up magical numbers on items, that's when I have a problem at garage sales. So at least the comps make sense. As now in Florida, 99% of my yard sales are not priced. All right. So everywhere I go, Florida's the Wild West. Like I'm telling you, everything here. I mean, you guys seen all the Florida Man videos and stuff like that. You think they have time to price stuff when they're chasing down meth alligators down the road and all this other crazy stuff going down here? Absolutely not. They need to, they need to save all the time they got for all the crazy stuff that happens in Florida. So getting chased by hurricanes, everything else. But now when I go to yard sales, I can quick gauge how it's going to be. So I kind of like now, I'm so used to not having pricing on items, because if I walk up and then I just start making a pile, and then people I'm like, how much you just want for the whole bundle? And then it's just easier for me to do that way instead of them adding up every single item. But I will tell you this, I hate it when I go to a card show, like a sports card show, because when I go to a sports card show, you have all those dealers that are very close to each other. And usually there's multiple dealers at the table, and I have to wait for the dealer to finish with someone else before I can even ask a price. And then it's going to be a price that's going to be that I don't even want. So now I'm just wasting time. So card shows, absolutely hate it. So I think it really comes down to the environment I'm in and stuff like that. But, at this point, I don't care. But when it comes to garage sales, when it comes to that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't care either way. I think I would prefer them if they were priced, but I will pick up a couple of things, ask the price, and I know right then if I'm going to buy from them or not. And if it's high, I put it down and leave. And like if they say make a pile, I typically have not even asked them a couple things, because I feel like most people who say make a pile want to get rid of a lot of stuff. And I'm like, okay, here's my pile. And I have never had an issue with somebody pricing a pile higher than I was willing to pay. That could happen. And then I'd be like, okay, never mind. Keep your pile. Yeah, so I would prefer it tagged, but I really don't mind untagged. I can ask. It's nicer untagged because you don't have to take price tags off of everything, And especially, I don't want people writing on the item.
Oh, yeah.
That
annoys
the crap out of me.
This is why I just go to the bins, because all of
then by weight.
I know what the price is going to be, and because I'm so incredibly cheap that I don't have to negotiate with anybody. I don't have to feel guilty about offering $10 when someone else is going to give $50. I just not saying any names.
I always preface it with I buy low. I told you guys about somebody had contacted me about buying the Kiss collection, and I actually researched a few things from the pictures, and there was really only one item I wanted. She's 4 hours down south. She said, I have tons of Hummel and all this. I feel like she got upset because I was like, I'm not interested. If I could just handpick a few of the higher dollar, I would do it, but I don't want to buy a whole collection when Kiss isn't selling really good right now. So it's, it's hard with that. But yeah, I don't care if they don't price it. Marsha's saying as a seller in garage sales, she feels like she sells more if stuff is not priced than she does if it is. 'Cause, really, as a seller, you could kind of gauge. And then that's the thing too. I feel like some of those suckers think we're going to pay more than we will, because they're like, it'd be $10 for me, but it'd be $5 for Rod. It's kind of
like the homeless, I guess.
I feel like they're just and I think most of the time they're pulling it out of their,
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, here's my price.
Going with
Yeah.
their gut. Yeah.
Yeah. So dress like a bum and a homeless person when you go to yard sales. That's my tip.
Yeah.
I dress like that a lot anyways. Liz said, how important are hashtags when people search for your items? And Rod, do you fill out the tags on Vindu before you cross post to Posh and Mercari?
I do not fill out the tags because it's going to take more time, and I don't sell a ton of stuff on Mercari or Poshmark, for that. Depends on which platform you are on for hashtags. If you're using social media, like social media has changed so much, like Instagram, you really don't have to use hashtags like you once used to in previous. I mean, I still do, from time to time. Facebook and TikTok, I see more with hashtags now, but everything has changed so much. The algorithms have changed more now than they have 5 years ago. So they are smarter, and they more or less look at your search history now on your phone or on your computer, and they go off that and decide what's going to be on your feed.
I don't use hashtags unless I'm trying to be funny and communicate, I'll use it in a chat with my friends and be like, haha, fun times. That's the only time I use hashtags anymore. I don't use them on Instagram. I don't use them on Facebook. I don't use them in Vendu. I don't use them in Poshmark. I just don't. I just use them when I'm like, hashtag trying to have a good time. That's it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to skip you. I thought she was just asking directly to me there. That's why I jumped in
I didn't
there.
know
I
it.
apologize.
Nobody said anything.
Yeah,
so I was
Just the
like,
last part. No, just the last part. That's why I let you just answer.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I was
Yeah.
like, it was silent for a second and awkward. So I thought I'd jump in.
Just start talking.
Keep going. You guys are doing good.
I don't use hashtags, and sadly, I love Vendu, but I don't use Vendu anymore because Poshmark has lost their minds about how to be a reseller and what is acceptable for deleting listings and stuff. So as much as I loved using Vendu and stuff, I'm not now because I just don't think at this time Poshmark is a viable option for me when they are suspending everybody and their brother. So
They didn't suspend me. Knock on wood.
I don't understand why they make you share your closet 1,000 times a day to get sales. Like, why? Like, every other platform has a simple system in place that's so counterproductive. Like, I hated Poshmark from day one just for that reason. You had to keep sharing to get people to share stuff. I understand the social aspect to it, but I mean, it's counterproductive. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Agreed. I felt pressured to be on it. So that's why I'm on it. But I don't make when I used Prime Lister, I was making sales because it was doing it for me. But if I'm going to get knocked off for not sharing,
but how is Prime Lister okay? Listing, like putting your items 5,000
it can't be
times
over like 2 months though. So like I have mine set to renew after 3 months, which is okay with their policy. It's people that are renewing those listings more often than they should. And this is going to be 110% a List Perfectly commercial right now, because List Perfectly AI Express Lister from your photos creates hashtags for all of your listings. It is on my Etsy. It has increased my Etsy sales. They also do automatic sharing for Poshmark. They also do automatic send offers for Posh. My Posh last month was over $1,500. I'm at $300 the first 3 days this month.
Wow.
Posh has been kicking butt for me, and List Perfectly has it all built in, so I don't have to have another thing. They share my closet. They send offers. They will. I'm not using the in and relist, so I don't, but it ends my listings. And I heard some people were getting like booted for that. I have not. And we over the weekend sold 40 items. So that means 40 items were taken off of Posh, and I didn't get any issue with that. So yeah. And the hashtags I've always heard on Etsy are really, really important. And I wasn't doing it on there until I started using AI Express Lister, because it makes me 20 hashtags from the photos for my listing.
That's
and
nice.
For Mercari and for Posh. All from the pictures. Mark is here at 9:11. Go figure. Mark gets raw, and we have 2 more super chats too. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah, give it. She steals my moves all the time, every week.
Wait, let's all do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
No, no. That's
Everybody
it.
steal it.
I'm hiding. There we go.
He said you cannot see me anymore.
Now I can't come back. Oh, great. There we go. Oh, there we go.
He
All
took
right, you know
Mary
what?
off.
Just for that one, Kat, it is after 9 o'clock. So after you read this, I know exactly which one we need to give these lovely ladies. Kevin from Thunder Down Under. That's what we need to provide these ladies.
Okay. Mary, I can't do it to Mary, though, but I'll do it to Wolfman. Okay. Mary said 1999 and said she has to go. Bye, Mary. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. I'm going to do the eagle. I don't feel like I do the eagle enough. Here you go. I love eagles. I think eagles are I love all animals. Wolfman's Goodies said a $10 one and said, awesome show, guys and girls. We're going to break it out. We have not broke it out all night, but here it is.
So good.
We had to hide.
The best part is the audience can't see your faces, but I can see your faces the entire time. And you almost like rolled off your chair, trying to hide off to the side. Angie's just dying laughing in the background.
I was laughing, but I couldn't help it. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yvonne Thrifty. Yeah, no, I know, LaDonna. I guess I'm just lucky. LaDonna said some are getting suspended for deleting one items. It's not consistent. Yep. I have somehow escaped that. I would be upset at this point, though, because I'm doing so good on there. I would be like, what the frig? I would like to know if the people are contacting them. Does anybody know anybody it's happened to? And have they contacted them and did Poshmark rectify it? That's what I would like to know.
If you follow Colorado Reworn, Liz, on her Instagram, she has been doing like daily updates and vlogs almost style and posting.
Did she get kicked?
Yep. Suspended, I think, but she's posting like the letters that she's getting or the communication she's getting from
them.
So it's really great watching her evolution of
like having to navigate through it. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I just must have gotten lucky. All right, here's a fun one. I think I shared mine earlier. How petty have you been as a reseller with a buyer? I'm being super petty over the $20 ornament it's giving me. See, mine was a $20 lunchbox. All right.
I mean, sometimes you do need that.
Before you deleted, do you have any stories you remember?
I do know somebody that had a pair of Gucci loafers that was sent out, and great, beautiful, gorgeous Gucci loafers, authenticated. And they put in a claim that said that it was not, they weren't nice Gucci loafers. They weren't what they said they were or whatever. And they accepted a return, and they sent them back some old crusty Converse sneakers instead of the Gucci loafers. I think I would be a little frustrated and petty with that, but
you said it went through the authentication program?
It had been third-party authenticated.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it was, but that was before the authentication program.
Gotcha, okay.
So that would really torque me off, and I would probably get a little angry type with that. But I can't think of anything that I've been super petty about. I'm not generally a petty person, generally. Angie has seen me probably get a little sideways on a few things, but not generally with buyers. They just, everybody wants something cheap. Everybody wants it. I just don't. Sorry. I got nothing for this one. I'm no fun on this one. Angie, I can probably cover me for a couple of stories.
I mean, being petty is not helpful to anybody. I think more likely the buyers are like petty a-holes sometimes. Like things that come to mind is, sending vintage dress to somebody, like beautiful, and they spent like $100 on it because it was gorgeous, and saying it was not as described and returning it to me, and literally they had dumped their garbage in the box and mailed it back to me.
That's petty.
I might have been a little petty. I'm just going to be honest with you. But honestly, this is my business. So, I do YouTube auctions, and sometimes, people get their feelings hurt and they lash out. And I'm like, I try to remember that this is my business, not personal. And so people feel like they're personally sometimes they're personally offended. And I try to remember that, that's how they feel, but this is my business, so I handle everything. I try to be professional, but sometimes I'm angry type to myself.
So I try not to be petty at all, just like Angie said, this is my business and stuff. I would say probably the only thing I would try to be petty about is if I get a return and the person's just a jerk about it, or they're just like, either the item gets sent off and they try to open a return before the items even got there, and then they demand for their money back right away. I wait to the very last day, to the 11th hour, to issue that refund back, because there's nothing. Once that thing arrives, I have an X amount of days to do it, and I just wait and sit back, and the messages come flying in. And I just wait. That's the most petty thing I've done on that. You know what I mean? Because they've already sent me, and I only do that when they've already sent me some derogatory messages. So I know that they leave me negative feedback. I'm just going to report the with those messages, and that thing's going to get removed. So I got nothing to worry about at that time. But yeah, that's the closest.
I wish Etsy had that policy, because that buyer was so threatening today, so threatening. I don't think they do, but that one was and like I said, I finally quit engaging, and I typically do not let them have time in my mind. But they came out the gate calling it crap, and I'm like, they said I sold it as new. I'm like, it's vintage. It's on Etsy. I showed pictures of the rust and put read. What else? And they said, I don't care about your pictures. Listen here, I don't care about giving you a refund, buddy. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. I just said, you are being threatening and harassing to me. I am not reading or responding to any of your messages. I have buyer paid returns 14 days is my Etsy policy. And I stood by that because they were being an a-hole. And normally if they were nice, I would have asked them if they wanted a partial or sent them the return label they were asking for, if they were nice. But they are not. And I had to translate every message, which was annoying. And they sent me a sentence at a time. So I had to translate each single one. And I'm like, I literally, my phone, they probably sent me 15 messages in the span of 10 minutes telling me how horrible I was.
Well,
all right.
maybe they were just
$1.99 for my friend Drew. I'm going to give him my alligator one. You guys were talking about me swimming with alligators. I switched where I'm swimming. I haven't been in 2 weeks, though, because I was sick 2 weeks ago. And then last week was absolutely ridiculous with Dalton's last week of school. And this week with the clean out has been ridiculous. So I haven't swum this week either. And tomorrow I have to unload the U-Haul. So maybe Thursday I'll get back to swimming. It might be next week. But I'm doing plenty of working out by unloading and loading U-Haul trucks. All right, here is my alligator swimming video, courtesy of Missy Vaughn, Thrifty Rich. If you don't follow her, she's who made the Kevin super chat video as well. So here is me. It's crazy because that was 60 pounds ago. So
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to look at them. Like even the graduation pictures and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. But now I need to I was thinking about putting my GoPro up there so I could film some, and I've thought about filming at the springs too because it's so pretty. And putting that on my I haven't posted on my Operation Healthy Cat in forever either. I need to do that too. all right, I need to do a lot of things.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've got a list.
Always. Scrappy Stamper says, I have the hiccups. I've had 3 items sell in the past 3 months that had already sold. How can I easily go through my store to check this? To offer a different item, do they have to go through the offer and pay again? And what she's talking about, like if I have this happen, and I have had it happen in, I think 4 times in the last 2 weeks, which is really weird. But if I offer them something else in my store for a higher value, because that's technically it's my bad. I think it's probably an eBay glitch. But if you do that, just to answer that part real quick, they don't have to offer and pay again. I just ship it in place of the other item and make sure I end the item that they picked, so it's not available and it doesn't happen again with that. So what does anybody know if there's an easy way to check this in the store?
I mean, there's probably an easier way, but I have shut my whole store down before and done an inventory, more so that I could put hands on everything and know that I had the item. To me, that just was peace of mind. So I just do the inventory. I don't know how many items you have in your store, but at the time I had 500-ish, but I just wanted to be able to tangibly have the items so that I could make sure that just cross-reference, this one's listed, this one's sold, this one's not listed for whatever reason. You have some that just fall off. Then you can find those and restart on those. But I mean, doing an inventory once every year and a half is a really good idea.
I do an inventory once a year. I mean, eBay glitching and relisting, that happens sometimes, unfortunately, so I at least once a year make sure that everything is good. And I'm trying to downsize my store. You could do it more often if you have a smaller store, but when you have thousands of items, once a year is about all I can do.
Yeah.
So an easy way to do it is just do it little by little. So if you have your stuff in like banker boxes or by totes, every day maybe just grab one tote, or every week you grab 1 or 2 totes and you go right down the line. So like I have mine lined up A1 through A10. So I just pull A1 today, go through that one real fast, A2 the next day, and go through, and then move on to Bs, move on to Cs, and so on. So you're not taking up a lot of time, and you can do a little by little. That's one way to do it. Or you can just knock it all up one day. Like they said, just take 1 or 2 days and knock it all out. But it also takes a lot of time too to do that. You will find a lot of items that you thought you had listed that are not listed, and I normally do that when I dig through my totes, and I'm like, why hasn't this thing sold? This thing should have sold already. And then we've all been there, and you're like, oh, it's not listed. That's why, because it either fell off or something happened to it. And I would say this: if you need to offer them a different item in your store, I even offer them a discount on any other items, or I give them the option. So if you ever sell an item that has already sold, give them 2 options, because you put the power in the buyer's hands. So you tell them, hey, I can either offer you a full refund, or you can take something else from my store, even if it's a little bit more money or something like that. That's a good way to reach out to the buyer, because then the buyer will respond to you, no, give me a refund. Now, when you go to cancel the item, you cancel it as buyer requested to cancel it. Your account does not get dinged. Or you can not cancel the item, just issue them a refund and just tell the buyer, hey, I'm going to send you a little gift. So you have to eat the shipping costs on this one by doing that, and you send them a sticker or something in the mail for real cheap and stuff like that. And it's one way they get tracking being sent to them. They get a full refund. They're happy, and you don't have to worry about the cancellation dinging your account. That's if your account's in jeopardy. So there is workaways around there.
I do not do any of the stuff they said. I probably should, but I have 8,000 listings.
Oh,
so I just don't. I know there's a website where you can check for double listings, which you could check, because that might have sometimes happened as well, like where it got double listed, so one sold and the other one's still listed. And I did that once and had quite a few double listings. eBay normally catches it now, especially when I end and sell similar. It will tell me that I can't post it because that listing's already up, which is nice. I want them to block them like that. And that has happened like where I haven't hit submit and somehow it's already there. It's just weird. But I think, I don't know how many items you have, but, and if you remember, that's the thing. Like we had 2 items today that sold a year ago. And it was crazy because they both sold almost on the same day a year ago and they sold again today. It was very weird. And it was 2 different buyers.
Was it a seasonal item?
No.
Oh, that's even weirder.
It was earrings and I don't remember what the other one was, but it was stuff I couldn't find. So the first thing I do is see if I can buy it from another seller. If I can find it, I'll buy it. That's my step one. I'll buy it from another seller. And a lot of times I still make money. Drop shipping. I'm not trying to have that as a business model, but that's the first thing is I look and see if I can buy it from another seller before I message the buyer and say, I'll offer you an item. I normally do like 25% extra. So if they buy $10, I'd offer them $12.50. I might even offer them $15, cause whatever. Or they can get an immediate refund. And I would say 90% of the time they say, it's okay, just give me a refund. Now, sometimes I sold an expensive sterling pendant that was a double sell and they found something that was almost $100 more that they said, this is the only thing I like. And I didn't pay much for it. And I gave it to them. I did keep the sterling necklace that was on a thick sterling chain. I said, I will send you the pendant, but I'm not going to send the chain because what they had bought was just a pendant anyways. So, and they said, okay, that's fine. And they were happy. I was happy. I kept a nice sterling necklace. So, I mean, whether it's my fault or not, like I'm the one that is on this end and doesn't have what they bought, and I know I would be upset about that. So yeah, I try and make them happy. Chat GPT or Grok is like great for those conversations. It saved me negative feedback before. So I'll put like, how do I tell the buyer I don't have this? I'm sorry, but I'll give you an item worth more value or refund. And it'll type out this cute little nice message that I couldn't type out. All right. Miss Linda wants to know, what is the strangest thing you found at the bins and the best find as far as resale value?
I love the bins. I go all the time, and I've been going to the bins for about 8 or 9 years. I have seen absolutely everything at the bins. I have seen mice and bugs, lady toys, adult lady toys. Seen those?
Found one of those today.
Yeah. Tampons and diapers, things like that all the time. Dentures, hearing aids, soiled garments. Let's just say that. Often. I just can't even. Ashes of people or pets. We don't know. As a matter of fact, this one guy picked up this jug. It was one of those old timey jugs that had the X's on them. It was like a moonshine kind of a jug. And he picked it up. He put it over his shoulder like he was being all, hillbilly-ish and pulled the cork and went like that to, pretend he was going to take a big swig, and ashes came out all over him. That was fun. Money, find money all the time. Not enough. I'd like to find it more. But I have found just absolutely insane things. I found a quilt that I had appraised and it came back at $2,500. I just within this last couple of months, I found a pair of sneakers that I sold for $250. I find gold jewelry. I find pearls. I find absolutely everything. I love going to the bins. So.
And Kristen, use some of the rest
Susan
of us.
said dentures sell.
They do.
Dentures sell. Actually,
Why?
I can send you. I don't know. My aunt's got some
I don't
dentures
like that.
up on eBay right now.
Oh,
They sell. Yep. Hearing aids, they sell.
I mean, hearing aids I'd be okay with, but I don't think I could sell.
Maybe they're going to use them for like a display. Maybe they're going to make a puppet. Maybe they're going to put them in a dog's mouth. Maybe
For Halloween, Halloween.
Halloween.
All of those things
Yeah.
are.
Maybe they've got like a morbid
Fetish.
decorating thing, you know, where they decorate the skulls.
I'm
and
gonna Google
bones.
if is there such a thing as a teeth. I'm gonna Google this. Okay,
We're
while
gonna find the
everybody
adult
else
toys with the dentures and don't
There
ask
you
questions,
go.
all right? So
Yeah, I'm actually watching a pair right now on eBay, so I'll send it to you.
there is.
hopefully
There
we're
is.
referring to the dentures.
That's
Yeah.
true. Thrifted Spirit dentures are $3,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're sized. You can't just take someone's dentures and shove them in your mouth.
You know what? If it's cheaper to maybe
Well,
just
that
gotta
attitude, Kat.
make it work, you know?
Yeah, just make it work.
I'm
There's
just
a
gonna
will, there's a
take
way.
care of my
Figure it
teeth.
out.
So I don't
Oh my
need
gosh,
dentures.
Lori. I'll tell my best. Like the best that I can remember is like couple years ago, I found these bags. They looked really weird. They were super heavy, and they looked like seatbelts. And everyone had already passed them by. There was like 10 of them.
Seatbelt purses.
And
10
they
of
were
them?
Harvey seatbelt purses. But not only were they Harvey seatbelt purses, they were the prototypes for the very first ones that they ever made. Because they make them different now. These were the original ones. I had no idea what I had. So I priced one. We kept raising the price. I mean, they would sell like within seconds of us listing it. And I had 10 of them. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I have to ask though.
It was
on that
amazing.
one. So
I mean,
you said you had to keep raising the price. So what was the initial price and what did you end at? Because you had a bunch of them.
I can't even remember exactly, but I think
Okay.
the first one I didn't know because I had no idea what it was because they didn't have the Harvey labels in them because it was the prototypes. So I started the first one at like $250, and it sold so fast. We were like, whoa. And so we kept, a couple hundred. And then, we've made a lot of money with that.
That's awesome.
And it was my mom who said, raise the price, raise it. I was like, how can we possibly raise it to?
Yes, Nanette, go.
To the moon, And it was just interesting because everybody passed them by.
Yeah.
The most, let's see, the strangest, which I have to say is the most disgusting thing that I've ever found at any store was a children's board book, the heavy cardboard books with a hole in the front. And it was made for pedophiles to teach children about how it's okay for touching. I immediately took it out of the thing and took it to the front because I'm like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
I just got cold chills.
Yeah. I mean, it was meant, but yeah, it had a hole in and I was like, what is it? And once I realized, I was mortified and took it to the front. So I didn't even know that was a thing in this world, let alone that it was there and someone had donated that. So,
wow. So for me, probably the strangest thing, I found a bag of weed in the bins before.
Yeah.
It was crappy weed. It had a bunch of seeds in it, so no one wanted that stuff.
Not the good stuff.
Not the good stuff there. Probably one of the best finds is I found cash. I found $20 in a pair of jeans before, so I pretty much, literally, I used Goodwill's money to buy Goodwill's products. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. What about you, Kat?
I don't know as far as strangest, and I haven't been to the bins in years. Full disclaimer.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, I buy too much, and I have way too much right now, and I just did a clean out, might do another one. So I'm going to have to be very sparing when I go thrifting, which does not mean the bins, because I come out with 100 pounds every time because I love linens, and I can mound a buggy. So I haven't, I don't remember. I'm sure there was stuff. I don't remember anything overly horrible. And I don't remember the best find either. The last time I went to the bins was at the Prison to Profit convention, which was almost 3 years ago, Rod?
A long time ago.
It's been a long time. I'm not sourcing because I have to make thrifting videos. I just have to behave. If you I went from no death pile to now we're having to put stuff out in the barn.
This is a social activity, Kat. Come on. This isn't about sourcing. This is about having fun. This is about looking for cat.
I'll have
remains.
to be like, here, have this free stuff, people, please. I will say the clean out and like one of the big auction buys, we will probably run everything through Whatnot because I don't know who wants what. And then if it doesn't sell the first time on Whatnot, I'm going to give it to my free lady. We had discussed possibly doing a garage sale, but I don't think we're going to. I want the stuff gone. And it'll take a while to go through and like amass it, but she'll come get like a couple boxes at a time and get it out of here. So I'm hoping to go through some of it later this week. But yeah, so I don't remember because I haven't been to bins in forever. I'm dangerous at regular thrift stores. Can you imagine like at the bins? It's horrible.
Oh, I think it sounds fun.
Yeah, my employee won't think that, especially with linens and big linen. She'd like, yeah. Sharon says she's been seeing a lot of posts about crappy eBay policies. She planned on starting selling since she retired. She's having second thoughts about the platform. So what is your advice about eBay? And I will say all of us are paid on the side, just like Kevin was accused of. We're all, yeah.
Really? Because I would love to get that contact. Because no, I'm not.
She's joking. No one's here.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I've been on eBay since 1997. I think that no matter what platform that you go on, there might be one or two policies that you don't necessarily like or agree with, but I don't think that is a deterrent for the positives. So I think that if you're wondering whether or not you should, I would encourage you to do it. You have more eyes on your items on eBay than any of the other platforms. And it's not as hard as everybody makes it out to seem. I think that people are, if they're putting out their, issues with policies, then maybe they just aren't that good of a seller and they just need to get over it and put their stuff on and start following the rules. But if you are wondering who to talk to about this, follow eBay for Sellers on Instagram or on Facebook. And then if you have a local meetup in your group, in your area, get together with some of those other people that have been doing it for a while and talk to them about some of the questions or concerns that you might have and form that personal relationship with them so that they can be honest and candid with you about things that you might have concerns about. Because there's nothing better than getting together with people to talk shop with and learn from, especially if you're newer. Go find somebody else that's done it for a while and be friends with them.
I'm friends with her, so that's pretty good. Here's what I have to say about that, Sharon. eBay has changed my entire life for the better. Mm-hmm. I have been doing this since the 90s. It has allowed me to leave a terrible marriage, pay off all my debt, live how I want to live, be here with my children when I wanted to, support my mom who's disabled, have a home, not have to work a corporate job that I hated, all of those things. When we resellers get together, we complain about the policies and the things, but we're doing it because we love it. Mm-hmm. This is our life. So yeah, we like to talk about the bad things. Because all the good things, all the work that we put in, that's our everyday. That's what we do. I don't think anyone who is a reseller and does this full time would ever change doing what they do. We love it. Now, live selling is becoming, more and more popular, but you're looking for something to do in your retirement to supplement income or whatever. A lot of people who are like retirement age aren't comfortable doing live selling and you make less for live selling. eBay is great for people in their retirement. Mm-hmm. Great way. You know your stuff better than anybody. You have the history of every item you have. Start with that. Mm-hmm. And sell the things that you have and you love it's most of the time your kids don't want that stuff. So sell it, put it out there. Let's another collector who loves that kind of stuff sell. Then, go out and find other things or whatever. But 100%, I would tell everyone today, start listing on eBay. Do not let anyone discourage you because it can change your life too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Motivate. No, absolutely. 100%. I've been selling on eBay since 1999, and just like everyone else here, it's changed my life. And I was able to quit my corporate job. I was able to build a brand new house from it. I was able to build my YouTube channels and everything else because of eBay. So if it wasn't for eBay, I wouldn't be in the position I am now. And I don't have to go to a corporate job. I can pretty much do whatever I want and work on my schedule and take vacations whenever I want and get it. And guess what? All my vacations are pretty much write-offs along the way because I go sourcing. I do stuff when I'm on my vacations, which end up helping out for tax purposes. So there's a lot of things out there that there's a lot of benefits when you do have a business like this. And it could be very small. It could be very big. That's the beauty of it. You control how much effort you want to put into it and how much you want to get out of it. So 100%, I highly recommend doing it. And I would say eBay is going to be a great starter platform for you starting out because there's over 130 million users on that platform. eBay is the place you go to when you need to find that item. That bolt
and
that's
I've
missing.
been hearing more commercials from eBay too.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So
you know what, too? If they've got that policy, if there's a policy in place, eBay has done the research and has a reason for the policy. And if you don't like it, there's a button up at the top that says, give us your feedback. Tell them. I think they read that stuff. I think that there are people that do that. So
what Whatnot is going through right now is what eBay went through in the very beginning. It's the Wild West. And people on Whatnot are demanding for new policies because of how crazy it is. Where right now, eBay's 20 years ahead of that because they've been through that craziness. They've been through the ups and downs. So I would say as a brand new seller going on there is the safest place for you to sell because they have buyer and seller protection. As long as you upload your tracking, the item gets arrived there, they will pretty much have your back when it comes to a lot of things. And they may refund the buyer. They may refund you as well. But they will. It is very safe. So don't worry about the scams you see and everything else. They're very few and far between. Like just start doing it because it's a game changer.
Something I think is really funny. Whatnot is going through the Wild West right now. But we have been all on eBay. We were on the Wild West of eBay when it started.
Absolutely.
When we don't like policies and stuff.
Money orders, wait for stuff.
Yeah,
penny listings with $50 shipping.
Yeah, was crazy. I mean, so we've been through it all. And so when we say we don't like something, we've seen every, ideation that eBay had to throw at us over the years. So a lot has changed, just like Whatnot is changing now. And don't let anything we say discourage you because we have seen it all. And we're still here doing it
because we love it. I mean, we will complain about it. We will, say what we have to say about it. But at the end of the day, like 95%, 97% of the time, we love what eBay and what it gives us. I mean, back in the day, I true story. People used to send me money in the mail in aluminum foil when I was in high school. And I think my parents thought I was dealing drugs or something like that because I literally opened up my envelope, be aluminum foil, and all these 20s would just come falling out. And my mom's like, what is that? I'm like, oh, I just sold something on eBay. And she's like, you sold what? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things, but like, I'm getting they were literally, people would send me cash and wrap it in aluminum foil. And that's how I get in an envelope in the mail.
Tape the quarters to the piece of paper and send it to you.
Yes.
And there was no tracking. They had to,
hope the money got there.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted tracking, you had to go.
Didn't get your money.
You had to get the little square thing. You had to put it on your package, wait in line, make sure it went through. Like handwriting all my envelopes, like that.
Yeah. So the policies are changed because we have helped create that, and we've asked for things, and the policies are in place because they've gotten better from us giving our feedback.
Listen, nothing has changed. The buyers are still jerks, just like they were back then. As they are now. When am I going to get my item? You just got payment. We'll have to wait 7 to 10 days for your check to clear. You know what I mean? Like, so that was the other thing we used to run through. So,
because eBay would tell you, don't ship until the check clears.
Yeah.
And you had to wait for the check to clear your bank.
And you're so happy you got that money order because you can cash that right away. You're good to go.
I like the postal money orders because then I could cash it at the post office.
Kill two birds, one stone. Drop off your packages, give them my money. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I want to echo and say mad people talk 10 times more than happy people.
Yep.
All of us here, we're happy, we're making money. We're not in the groups posting like how thrilled we are because we're working. But if you get mad, the same thing with reviews and feedback, right? Somebody who's upset is like, I don't think I've really ever left a good review on a restaurant, but if I had a really, really crappy time, I sure as hell go straight to it to leave a negative one. I mean, that's just how it is. You know, if it was like a horrible experience, and I've only done that, I think, twice ever, but I have done it, but never a positive one. So for me, like I went and looked, we're at like $11,000 on eBay this month. And that's really low for me, and I'm not happy with that. My goal is 20,000, but that is almost 10 times, because Poshmark's was at 1,500, almost 10 times what, and Posh is the second best performing platform. So like people always ask me, and yes, it's easier to list on Posh. It's easier to list on Mercari. They don't have, you know, fees to list, but eBay gives you 250 free in most situations. The fees, Mercari is the cheapest on fees, but it's the lowest sales platform. So, you know, you kind of have to weigh it out. And again, the policies are all there for a reason. Overall, they are fair. There's going to be some crappy ones, and yeah, we're going to complain. And like I had a pain in the butt over on Etsy today. I'm mad I can't respond to feedback on Etsy. Like, because this person I'm sure is going to like nail me to the wall, and that's okay. Whatever. I'm not even going to go read it. I'm not going to look. I made the mistake of reading my Mercari feedback one time too. I never read that or Poshmark either. Because it doesn't pop up and yell at me when I get a negative, so I just ignore it. But eBay's going to give you the most sales 90% of the time. I know a few people who do the majority of their selling on either Posh or Mercari. Those are the exceptions to the rules. I think most people make most of their money on eBay. And I think it's a little harder to learn than Mercari and Posh, but I think it's worth it. And I think if you learn eBay first, the other ones are going to seem so simple it's not funny. I wanted to answer Nancy real quick over on Facebook because I can't like respond back on there easy. I might feel froggy and go on at like 11 or midnight tonight after I record my 2 other videos. I might. I don't know. I'm not feeling tired yet. If not, I'm going to say hopefully tomorrow early evening. I'm not scheduling them because I don't know, and my life is so hectic. When Shannon's on vacation this week, so it's only me doing live sales if we have live sales this week, and my schedule is just crazy. But when Shannon comes back next week, for all of you, we will schedule out probably 2 weeks worth of sales so you guys know when we're going to be live. I know it's a pain in the butt. And if I go live and it's me, myself, I simulcast to YouTube and Facebook, so you will be notified if it's me. I don't like to do that when it's Shannon because I don't want to make people feel bamboozled because it's not me. But it will be me this week, so I will simulcast to YouTube as well as Facebook if I go live. I just saw a super chat, I think. Yes, I did.
Yay.
Oh, wait, there are 2 super chats. Todd said eBay sucks. He hates it. Oh, wait, cha-ching, never mind. You know, relationship. We can be pissed at them all we want, but that's where my money comes from. Yep. So I can get mad, but I still love them. You know, like I still love them.
Don't you think that sometimes, though, that the mad is because there's a policy change? That means that you're going to have to learn something new. Change is hard.
I don't pay attention to the policies. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I just keep doing what I'm doing. And then if
I listen to Seller Club podcast and they talk about the policies, anything that is changing or anything that's different. And then
I try to read those updates. Have you ever tried? Cannot.
Not anymore. I just listen to Seller Club podcast and they tell me what I need to know.
And then, summarize it.
Yeah.
All right. Todd, what are we giving? What have we not played tonight? Oh, we haven't played the kitty cat. Let's play the kitty cat. Dalton's meowing on the floor. Look, eBay guy is upping Mark's late fee and sent a $10 late fee. And 5% interest because he's late.
That's nice.
So, what should we? Oh, let's do mermaids. I like it's mermaids and mermans. I've gotten chastised for that. There are mermans in here too. Mer people. Here they are. Oh, now I see the merman was doing the flips at the end. I had to look. All right. It is almost time to go. So I knew we would not get through the questions when we started with like 15 before we even went live. That happens some nights. That's why I tell everybody get them in early. I'm going to let everybody tell you goodbye, and then Rod and myself, and they'll tell you where you can find them. And then we'll tell you who's going to be on next week. So here is Kristen.
Thank you, guys. This is always so much fun. Grateful to Kat for having us. Rod, it's always cool to see you. Angie, love seeing you too, my bestie. But you can always find me on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Dibdit, Tiquity, Dibdit Threads, Polish and Brush, eBay. I'm going to leave some of them out, but just super grateful for everybody. Just be good people, and it all comes back to you. That's all I'm going to say. Have a good night.
Perfect. Here's Angie.
This was so much fun. Oh my gosh, we haven't done this for a while. So huge thanks to Kat and Rod for having me, for having Kristen. I'm speaking for Kristen now. You can find me on YouTube. Angie Resells is my name everywhere, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. I'm also on District, selling on Dibdit. I also do Whatnot, but haven't done it lately. But Angie Resells on there as well. But been really, really doing a lot of District, Dibdit Threads, Polish and Brush, and Dibdit auctions. So you can find me over there. And every Saturday night, right here on YouTube, I have a YouTube auction. Usually lasts like 5 or 6 hours. Everything but the kitchen sink. So we sell everything. It's a really fun show. Lots of giveaways, lots of great time. That's 6 Central every single Saturday on my channel, Angie Resells. Would love to have you join, and make sure if you come, you say you saw me here on Kat's channel. Would appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Perfect.
Also,
Rod?
too, Angie has been putting together some women's rate trains on Dibdit Threads.
Yeah.
So I put the link down in the description down below, guys. Please go and follow both of them on there. They do great shows. They do great deals, and they're entertaining and they're fun. So please, we need more women over there, and they are really pushing and kicking it off. So they do a great job, and they did some purse giveaways in the past, some other stuff, and I'm sure we're going to be doing some more of that stuff here in the near future for them. So for me, I just dropped a new video on picking and punching, so go check that one out. Tomorrow morning, the No Banger Sports Card Podcast at 11 a.m. will drop their new sports card podcast, and I'll have a new video on my card channel on Friday. But Wednesday night, I will be doing Bowman Baseball Break on Dibdit Cards. So if you guys can go bid on those right now, bid on your favorite teams, and we break every Wednesday night at around 9:30. So I go break, but we do a card raid train starting at like 4 or 5 all the way through the night. So come check us out.
Angie, Thrifted Spirit said they would like to join the purse train. How to contact you on Instagram? Is that the best way?
You can do Instagram. Thrifted Spirit, are you already on Dibdit or Dibdit Threads? Because you can send me a message right there. Angie Resells, same as here, is how you find me over there. And just send me a message, and I will definitely put you on the list. Right now, the one we're coordinating is Women Supporting Women. It's all women resellers selling all women's items, and that's going to be on June 18th. But I'm trying to coordinate one every other week or so. Really want to grow it. Over on Dibdit Threads has been
Did she freeze for
T-shirts,
y'all?
a lot of like guy items, and really encourage more women to be there.
All right. You froze for like 2 seconds, but you came back. Yeah, Sarah, I want to put this up. I don't remember to say it enough. Marsha is here every single week. She also helps me on my lives when she's able, my live sales. Go follow her, Red Cardinal Treasures, please. She does a ton. Mark OGNZ as well. He has a channel here as well as Instagram. Marsha has Instagram too. Next week is going to be exciting. So we have Icky Gal Vintage. She's from Australia. It's going to be her first time on the show. Rod's got all women again next week. And then I'm super excited. Tuition Ain't Cheap is coming on, and it's her first time as well.
Ooh, I love her. Okay.
Yeah, I got sent one of her videos to watch, and I loved it. So I immediately reached out to her and asked her to come on the show.
Nice.
So yeah, 2 new women resellers on next week with us. So that'll be fun. I hope I can put out a thrifting video tomorrow, but reality is it'll probably be Thursday. And then tomorrow I will have my what sold out, and we've done 3,000 this week. So some really, really good stuff. And like I said, I might go get froggy and go live in like an hour and a half or 2 hours here. I don't know how long I'll last, but I might go for a little while. And I don't know if I'll do costume jewelry, sterling jewelry, or I have thousands of knickknacks now from this estate sale. So I don't know. So if I do, I will simulcast it, so you'll get notified that I'm live. And
I'm stealing her move now.
maybe not. I do have to unload the 20-foot U-Haul in the morning. Elena, Treasure Diva Thrift, signed up. She said she's going to come help me unload. So thank you, Kristen and Angie, for coming on. Rod, thank you for coming back. To all of you in the chat, we cannot do it without you guys.
Thank you.
So thank you all. Oh, wait, I bet I didn't. Hold on. Let me fix this. I'm going to fix it. Okay. All right. So we will see you guys next week. We are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we will see you guys next week. Guys. Bye.